I've been itching to talk about some big expansion news for Disneyland that we heard about last week. They're calling it Disneyland Forward, and oh, it's exciting. I'm gonna break it down, talk about it after the intro. Well, hello there, my name is Jeremy and welcome back to Freeform Disney. Today we are heading down to California because we have got big news just last Thursday about a potential gigantic expansion to the Disneyland Resort. Both Disneyland itself and Disney California Adventure. They're calling it Disneyland Forward. Disney's launched a whole new website over at DisneylandForward.com. We've got these cool new artist renderings in here. Now let me say off the bat, some of this may just be politics too, so there is that possibility. Even if it's not, then the approval still has to come from the city of Anaheim before any of this can happen. So bear all of that in mind. But we do have concept art, and Disney is hoping to go ahead and any which way, I'm sure they're hoping to go and get those approvals. Now that reason is there are parking lots in there and they're zoned for parking lots, so they can't actually be theme parks and rides and such. So that's an interesting little bit of inside baseball in terms of being able to even do an expansion. Now some of these images are, oh, they're so cool. So it looks like the idea is not building a third park, which certainly has been some of the hope. Be a little small for one, unless you took out the Disneyland Hotel and the Paradise Pier Hotel, which kind of take up a good bit of space there. Take those out, I mean, you could have a good sized third park. But instead, what's being proposed is an expansion to both Disneyland and California Adventure, and they both have like these little paths that go over the Disneyland Drive road over there. You almost wish they'd take that road out, right? The idea would be that you have an expansion of both, and you'd have new gates going into both Disneyland and California Adventure, which that is intriguing right there. So instead of only being able to go in the main entrance section that we're all used to, now there's a different choice. So maybe for rope drop, you want to head over there toward the expansion area because you really want to get over to that new ride over there first for rope drop. I mean, that's just intriguing off the bat. What an interesting choice. And of course, it would put it really close up to Disneyland Hotel and the Paradise Pier. If you're in either of those, you might have direct access into the expansions of the parks. Now, we don't really know much about any of these specific ideas for what's going on, but we do have some artist concept renderings without being able to tell specifically what these might be about. So it's speculation time galore, frankly. I've heard all kinds of speculation, even Wakanda popped in there because it looks like one section here maybe looks kind of like the Panther statue in Wakanda. If so, then maybe over in California Adventure they'd have a Wakanda section. Seeing Wakanda would be cool. Some of what we see in these images is really interesting. Now, California Adventure has the bigger size of the two, and there seems to be a lot going on there. One of the big features in there is we see this giant mountain, and it looks like it's some kind of roller coaster because up on the overhead view, we can see lines coming in and out of it, twisting around. So some kind of big e-ticket theme park roller coaster ride. Oh, I mean, you could not enjoy that. There's almost a part of me that thinks that looks a little over like Neverland, but clearly that's not it. That'd be in the Disneyland section and not down here. But certainly could be an excuse for a roller coaster if you're doing it. There's a lot of water within here too, and you can see it in some of these renderings, and that just has a nice feel to it as well. And I'm super intrigued, don't know what to expect, but get some new big theme park rides, make these parks that much bigger. Oh, you better be happy. Having to cross a major road, not the greatest, but you can see in the images, they've really got, it looks like an elevated pathway over top with a bunch of trees, so hopefully they'd really block out the view of the road. And this being Disney, I have confidence they'd do the best they could to do that. It would probably work. And yeah, there's just so much. But again, this is meant to hype us all up, because that then puts more pressure on Anaheim City Council to approve this, because after all, you don't want to be the people over there that said, no, you can't have your third park, or essentially really expansions to the two parks. That's just a reputation you don't want. And Disney World's got 4 big main parks and plenty of other things. Disneyland, just the 2. Can you imagine having that much more extra space in there? Oh, this makes it so much more fun, and what would you do with all this time? Well, anyway, hard to speculate too much on exactly what's going going on there, maybe some flume attractions. There are lots of smaller areas, restaurants that are going to pop up in here, and so much to debate. And all these visuals that people have put together are great as well. Really getting to see it. Up on the Disneyland side, there's a little more going on up there. You can see a little bit of it. And again, another little island in the center. We really like our islands within the expansion. There's an area that looks like maybe it's just one of those spinners, like a Dumbo kind of ride. Definitely that's what it looks like. Not the most interesting thing to me, but well, we can do what we can do. Interesting thing about where it would connect back into Disneyland, it would connect in back over at that train station over in New Orleans Square, the Frontierland one, which is an interesting spot. So you kind of go to the train station and just keep going and off to the expansion. How would you fit it in? What would be the theme of that land? Disneyland is more important than it is on California Adventure. And why would you have to go from New Orleans Square / Frontierland in that area? An intriguing question. One other thing to be noted is we are also talking about a new shopping district and a hotel sitting out, so that should be noted. And there's gonna be big hotel, retail areas, dining, entertainment there, and it looks nice. I mean, it's way bigger than the downtown Disney area that we're used to. That is a giant shopping district. I don't know what they'd call it since they already have downtown Disney, and it's a little ways away. So it has an interesting disconnect, but it certainly, I mean, you can walk that distance. Hell, you walk far more than that distance when you're walking around the parks anyway. And they even note a little possible new parking, kind of over in that area where we're talking about a transportation hub being. Someday I still want to see a third park down there, and I want to see Disney World get a fifth park, but still, talking about all of these cool additions and just looking at more and more expansions, oh, that is exciting. So anyway, hopefully you have gotten to see a lot yourself here. So with that note, let me go ahead and ask, what about you? What would you really love to see as, say, like a new ride or attraction over within the Disneyland or California Adventure expansions? And are you excited about this project? Let me know down below in the comments. And let me take a moment to thank all my wonderful patrons. If you are interested in helping support the channel through Patreon, there is a link below in the description or on the end card at the end. And to everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, it would really help out if you give it a like, a share, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you back here next time for another new episode of Freeform Disney. Have a magical day, and may the force be with you always.